What happens when a senator's 23-year-old daughter stumbles out of New Year's Eve party at 2:30 a.m., drunk, jumps into her car, and smashes into the life of a 68-year-old Vietnam veteran? Then when police arrive, she shrugs and says, "It's New Year's. Everyone drinks. My dad will handle this." This isn't just a tale of reckless partying. It's a crash course in reality. Some celebrations don't excuse drunk driving, some last names don't buy immunity, and some senators face the choice between shielding their child or honoring a man who served his country. What makes this story gut-wrenching isn't just a DUI. It's who got hit, what she said while he lay hurt, and what her father, Senator Richard Hartley, said when Judge Caprio put him on speakerphone in the courtroom, just days into the new year. Wherever you're watching from, brace yourself, because this case proves that political power can't shield you from consequences, not even on New Year's. It's January 3rd in Providence Municipal Court. Madison Hartley, 23, faces a stacked list of charges: DUI causing serious bodily injury, reckless driving, leaving the scene, and threatening officers. 3 days earlier, on New Year's Eve at 2:47 a.m., she left an exclusive Providence hotel party after sipping champagne for hours. Witnesses saw her wobble to her BMW, drop her keys, and laugh at just how drunk she was. Traffic cameras capture her weaving through lanes at 50 miles per hour in a 30 miles per hour zone. At Hope Street and Rochambeau Avenue, she ran a red light and slammed into a Toyota Camry. The Camry spun violently and hit a pole. Behind the wheel, 68-year-old Robert Sullivan, a Vietnam veteran heading home after volunteering at a veteran shelter, a ritual he'd honored every year for the past 15, since his wife passed. Robert Sullivan didn't just get hit, he was nearly destroyed. 3 broken ribs, a fractured collarbone, severe whiplash, and a concussion. He was trapped in the wreckage for 8 agonizing minutes. At 2:51 a.m., police arrived. Officer Michael Chin found Madison Hartley standing outside her BMW, still clutching a champagne bottle, her evening gown soaked in the night's chaos, utterly intoxicated. When asked if she was hurt, her response, caught on body camera, was chilling in its casual arrogance. "I'm fine. It's New Year's Eve. Everyone drinks on New Year's. This isn't a big deal. Is my car okay?" The smell of alcohol hit Chin instantly. Her speech slurred, her gait unsteady. He tried to ground her in reality. "Madison, you were in a serious accident. Someone else was injured." She laughed, raised the bottle. "It's New Year's. Live a little, officer. My dad always says, New Year's Eve doesn't count. Everyone gets a pass." Behind her, paramedics were struggling to extract Robert from a mangled Camry. His cries of pain pierced the night. Madison didn't ask once if he was okay. When Officer Chin tried to conduct field sobriety tests, Madison refused and then threatened him. "Do you know who my father is? Senator Richard Hartley, Senate Judiciary Committee. He literally controls your funding. Let me go before you make a huge mistake." When Chin reached for the champagne bottle, she snapped, "Don't touch me. My father will have your badge. I'm calling him right now." By then, Sergeant Jennifer Walsh had arrived. She informed Madison, "You're being detained for DUI. We need to do testing." Her response was brazen defiance. "I'm not doing any tests. It's New Year's Eve. Everyone drinks. My father is going to hear about this harassment." The scene read like a story of entitlement colliding violently with reality, except the victim wasn't just some statistic. It was a man who had already given so much. When Sergeant Walsh tried to guide Madison to patrol car, the scene turned physical. "Get your hands off me. I'm Senator Hartley's daughter. You can't arrest me. It's New Year's Eve." 3 officers had to restrain her as she screamed, threatened, and insisted that the holiday nullified the rules. She demanded to go to her next party, not once asking about Robert Sullivan. During transport, her tirade only escalated. "You have no idea what you've done. My father funds your department. You'll all be directing traffic by next week." At the station, Madison initially refused a breathalyzer. After her lawyer intervened, she finally submitted at 4:17 a.m. Her BAC, 0.18. Investigators, accounting for the time lapse, estimated it was 0.21 at impact. nearly 3 times the legal limit. Toxicology would later reveal cocaine in her system. Fast forward to Judge Caprio's courtroom. Madison Hartley walks in, perfectly dressed, exuding irritation at the interruption. Her attorney, Christopher Dane, a politically connected heavyweight, rises immediately. Your Honor, this occurred on New Year's Eve, when many people make regrettable decisions. My client has no prior record and comes from a distinguished family. We ask the court to consider the holiday context. Judge Caprio's response is razor-sharp. Mr. Dane, I don't care if it was New Year's Eve, Christmas, or any other day. Your client drove drunk, crashed into a Vietnam veteran, seriously injured him, and showed zero remorse. The calendar doesn't grant immunity. He turns to Madison. Ms. Hartley, do you understand these charges? She answers with dismissive casualness. Yes, Your Honor, but everyone is overreacting. It was New Year's Eve. People drink on New Year's. I made a mistake, but I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Judge Caprio sets down his pen. Miss Hartley, you drove at 3 times the legal limit with cocaine in your system. You ran a red light at 50 miles per hour. You seriously injured a 68-year-old Vietnam veteran driving home from volunteering at a veteran's shelter. Your first concern was your car and your next party. Madison shifts nervously. I was in shock. It was New Year's Eve. Everyone was celebrating. The judge doesn't flinch. Being in shock doesn't explain laughing and drinking champagne while the man you injured was trapped. It doesn't explain threatening officers. New Year's Eve doesn't excuse any of it. Have you contacted Mr. Sullivan to apologize? Her attorney answered for her. No, on legal advice. 3 days later, she hasn't even asked if he's okay. Judge Caprio plays the body cam footage. Madison slurred. Carefree voice fills the courtroom. I'm fine. It's New Year's Eve. Everyone drinks. Is my car okay? The gallery gasps. Robert sits with visible bruises, his arm in a sling. The footage captures her laughing, sipping champagne, taunting the officer. Live a little. Behind her, paramedics pull Robert from the wreckage. Then comes a threat. Do you know who my father is? He oversees your funding. Let me go. Officer Chin testifies. Did she ever ask about Mr. Sullivan? Not once. Only about her car, her next party, and threatening us with her father's position. Then Robert Sullivan takes a stand. He describes his ritual, volunteering at the veterans shelter every New Year's Eve for 15 years, and then the crash. I don't remember much after, just pain and being trapped. I heard a woman laughing. I thought I was imagining it, but she was actually laughing while I was trapped, unable to move. His voice breaks. Your Honor, I'm 68. I served in Vietnam. I was driving home from serving others when this young woman, drunk and high, destroyed my car. 3 broken ribs. I can barely breathe. My car is gone, and I can't afford another. And she never asked if I was okay. Judge Caprio turns to Madison. Do you have anything to say to Mr. Sullivan? Her attorney whispers. She stays silent. And that's when Madison suddenly pulls out her cell phone and starts typing. Judge Caprio's voice cuts through the courtroom. Miss Hartley, what are you doing? I'm texting my father, she replies. He needs to know what's happening. This has gone on long enough. Hand me that phone. The judge commands. The bailiff retrieves it, and Judge Caprio reads aloud. Dad, this judge is insane. He's acting like I committed murder. It was just a New Year's accident. Everyone drinks on New Year's. Can you call someone? This needs to stop now. The courtroom falls silent. Miss Hartley, Judge Caprio says, you just tried to text a United States Senator to interfere with judicial proceedings. You call this just a New Year's accident, as if the calendar excuses nearly killing a veteran. Since you want your father involved, let's get him on the line. Madison's face drains of color. Your Honor, that's not necessary, she stammers. Within minutes, the clerk connects Senator Richard Hartley. Judge Caprio puts the call on speakerphone. Every ear in the courtroom hears him. Senator Hartley, this is Judge Caprio in Providence Municipal Court. Your daughter, Madison, is here for a DUI hearing. She just attempted to text you during court, asking you to intervene because, and I quote, "It was just a New Year's accident, and everyone drinks on New Year's." A long pause. When Senator Hartley speaks, his voice is heavy with emotion and unmistakable disappointment. "Your Honor, I apologize that my daughter contacted me during court. She should not have done that." Judge Caprio presses on. "Senator, I want to ensure you understand the full situation. Your daughter drove drunk at 3 times the legal limit with cocaine in her system. She ran a red light at 50 miles per hour, crashed into a 68-year-old Vietnam veteran, seriously injuring him, drank champagne while threatening police officers, and showed zero concern for the man she hurt. Her defense? It was New Year's Eve, so the rules don't apply." The courtroom is silent for 10 seconds. When Senator Hartley responds, his tone has shifted, calm but firm. "Your Honor, I need to be very clear. I am not calling to request leniency. I am not asking for special treatment. I am not intervening in any way." Madison interrupts. "Dad, tell him this is crazy. It was New Year's Eve. Everyone drinks." "Madison, be quiet. For once in your privileged life, listen to someone other than yourself." Her father snaps. He continues, voice unwavering. "I've spent 12 years in the United States Senate fighting for veterans' benefits, for proper VA funding, for the men and women who serve our country. And my daughter drove drunk and nearly killed a Vietnam veteran, then threatened police officers with my name and position." Judge Caprio asks the crucial question. "Senator, are you asking this court to show leniency to your daughter because of your position?" "Absolutely not, Your Honor. I am asking that she be treated exactly as any other defendant would be. In fact, I would argue she should be treated more harshly. She grew up in a household that honored veterans. She's heard me speak about military sacrifice her entire life, and she nearly killed a 68-year-old veteran, and laugh because it was New Year's Eve." Madison starts crying. "Dad, you're supposed to help me. I'm your daughter." "Exactly why I am doing this, Madison. Your mother and I have enabled this behavior for 23 years. We've gotten you out of trouble, paid for lawyers, and created someone who believes their last name grants immunity. That ends today." Judge Caprio asks if the senator wishes to address Robert Sullivan, who sits in court. "Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sullivan, my name is Richard Hartley. I am the father of the young woman who nearly killed you. I want to tell you that your service matters. Your sacrifice matters. What you've done for 15 years, volunteering on New Year's Eve, matters more than any Senate seat I've held. My daughter destroyed your car and injured you while you were serving others. That is unconscionable. She will face full accountability." Robert, visibly moved, responds, "Senator, I appreciate your words. You don't need to apologize for my daughter. She's an adult. But I appreciate your understanding of what veterans sacrifice. I hope she learns from this." Senator Hartley, voice thick with emotion, replies, "Mr. Sullivan, thank you for your service. And I am sorry my daughter treated you as if you didn't matter." Judge Caprio asks if there's anything more. "Whatever sentence you determine, I fully support it. If jail time is warranted, so be it. Significant fines, community service. Appropriate. My daughter needs to learn that being a senator's daughter doesn't grant immunity from consequences, especially when endangering someone who served our country. I'm also sending a formal apology to the Providence Police Department for her threats against their officers." The call ends. Madison sits at the defendant's table, crying, utterly exposed. The father who should have rescued her has publicly condemned her behavior. Judge Caprio's voice cuts through, authoritative. "Ms. Hartley, your father, the United States Senator whose position you used to threaten officers, has told this court to treat you like any other defendant, if not more harshly. Let's do exactly that. The sentence is severe and comprehensive. 60 days in county jail for reckless driving at 50 miles per hour in the 30 zone, $15,000 fine. 2-year license suspension, mandatory intensive substance abuse treatment, $5,000 fine for running a red light, $1,000 for leaving the scene, $3,000 for resisting arrest, and $1,000 additional fines." Madison, once untouchable in her own eyes, now confronts the full weight of her actions. And the consequence is that even her last name cannot erase the fines keep coming. $5,000 for threatening officers with her father's position. Another $5,000 for contempt of court for attempting to text her father mid-hearing. Add $3,000 more, bringing her total monetary penalties to $33,000. But Judge Caprio isn't finished. He orders Madison to make Robert Sullivan whole, $8,500 for the total loss of his Camry, and $4,200 for medical expenses not covered by insurance. Then come the community service mandates. For 100 hours, specifically at veteran shelters and VA hospitals, serving the very people she endangered. She must also write formal apologies to Robert Sullivan, Officer Chun, Sergeant Walsh, every officer she threatened, and even her father for misusing his Senate position. Significantly, Judge Caprio orders Madison to speak at 3 high schools and colleges about the true cost of drunk driving, recounting her actions and the consequences she faced. The total financial impact, $45,700. 60 days in jail start immediately. 2 years without a license. A permanent criminal record. 400 hours of service to veterans. Mandatory substance abuse treatment. Madison's attorney objects. Your Honor, 60 days for a first offense is excessive. She's a college graduate with career prospects. Judge Caprio's reply is devastating. Mr. Dane, your client drove drunk and high at 3 times the legal limit. She nearly killed a 68-year-old Vietnam veteran driving home from volunteering on New Year's Eve. She laughed. She threatened officers 15 times using her father's Senate position. She called it just a New Year's accident. She tried to text her father mid-proceedings to make it all disappear. 60 days is not excessive. It's merciful. The sentence stands. As Madison is led away, she pauses and looks at Robert. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Sullivan. Young lady, Robert replies, I hope you learn that veterans aren't props for your father's political career. We're human beings who served and sacrificed. We deserve respect. Not to be hit by drunk senators' daughters who think New Year's Eve makes them invincible. Officer Chin rises. Your Honor, I've been a police officer for 8 years. I've never had anyone threaten me with their parents' Senate position while a veteran was trapped. What you did today matters to every officer. Thank you. Within hours, audio from the courtroom goes viral. Senator Hartley holds a press conference, boosting veterans legislation, apologizing to Providence PD, establishing a scholarship in Robert's name, and personally replacing his vehicle. Madison begins her 60 days in jail. Week 1, defiant. Week 4, genuinely engaged in substance abuse counseling. Week 6, writing sincere apologies. Upon release, she begins her 400 hours at a VA hospital, meeting veterans with missing limbs, PTSD, and traumatic brain injuries. At 3 months, she speaks at college. A student asks, do you regret driving drunk on New Year's? I regret everything, she admits. I regret laughing while Mr. Sullivan was trapped. I regret treating him like he didn't matter. New Year's Eve doesn't excuse any of it. 6 months later, she meets Robert at the veteran's shelter. Mr. Sullivan, I drove drunk and high on New Year's Eve. I crashed into your car, seriously injured you, laughed while you were trapped, threatened officers, and called it just a New Year's accident. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Robert accepts her apology. I didn't serve so senators' daughters could nearly kill veterans while threatening cops. I served so everyone could be equal under the law. Your father understood. Judge Caprio understood. Now you need to understand it too. 1 year later, Madison has been sober 12 months, continues volunteering at the VA beyond her mandated hours, and works as a veteran services advocate. Senator Hartley continues his Senate work with renewed focus on veterans. When asked if he regrets his decision, he answers, I don't regret holding my daughter accountable. I regret it took nearly killing a veteran for her to learn her last name doesn't make her special. The veterans are special. They sacrificed. Madison Hartley walked into court, believing New Year's Eve excused everything. She thought her father's seat in the Senate made her untouchable. She texted him expecting rescue. Instead, She heard him tell Judge Caprio to treat her harshly. She heard him apologize to the veteran she nearly killed. She heard him choose honor over shielding his entitled daughter. That text, her desperate attempt at intervention, became the moment that taught her the most important lesson of her life: justice, integrity, accountability. The legacy of Judge Frank Caprio and Senator Richard Hartley